Oh, Matt's on. Cool.
Yay, welcome, Matt.
Yay.
Everybody's on. That's getting on, I'm pretty sure.
Except we
Okay.
can't hear him.
Except who?
Matt, we can't hear you.
Oh, no. Yeah, Matt, we cannot hear you.
You're like, click the bottom left. I think it's on the bottom left of your phone, and it says, I think, like connect via audio or something like that.
Or internet or something.
Connect with internet audio. No, I didn't mute everybody. I just muted everybody individually.
Yeah, he doesn't have a mute by him, actually.
No.
Well,
maybe
can you
his
hear us,
phone
Matt?
doesn't
Thumbs
support
up.
the audio.
Matt, tap on your phone and like it should come up in the very like bottom, I think left-hand corner.
Yeah, you should say call in something.
Call in with internet audio. It should say.
Yeah, if not, get off and jump back on, and when it pops up on your screen, try it again. I can't hear you now. Maybe jump off and then jump back on.
He's so confused.
Hey, Maddie, I miss you, woman.
And all of this is being recorded.
Oh, oops. I forgot I was even. Okay. We'll just get started, and hopefully Matt will figure out his phone.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay.
Worst case scenario, at least he can hear us. Okay, so tonight we wanted to kind of make this short, but we all know how that goes. So we're going to start off by talking a little bit about, I know for my coaches, something that I've heard that comes up a lot that they're struggling with is making like that work-life balance and really finding a way to fit in fitness, your personal journey, obviously your work, your family, your kids, and then also fit together that business aspect. Like, I know we all have so much on our plate, and we only have 24 hours in the day. So Christina and I wanted to come on and just give you guys a couple tips on dealing with that and let you guys know that you're not alone in that struggle. It's something that all of us go through, me included, Christina included, and time management is super duper important. So one of the things that I know my coaches know this because I went live on my page, but I went to a conference type thing this past weekend with Kim Carver, and he works for Beachbody. It was all about the 4 vital behaviors. And when he got to, be a product of the product, instead, he said that he doesn't like that, and instead he wants it to be proof that our products work. And I think that that's totally different than be a product of the product, because being a product of the product could mean you just show up, you do your workout, you share that you did your workout, you drink your shake, and that's it. People don't necessarily see you changing. They don't see the progress. They don't hear you talking about that progress and how your body and your mindset is changing along the way, how your relationship with food is changing along the way. And what we really want to start doing is showing that we are the living proof that Shakeology works. We are the living proof that these workout programs start. So he says that anybody, if you are stuck in your business, if you are feeling frustrated with where you are at in your business, the number one thing that he tells coaches is to look at themselves and say, are you doing a program? Are you committed to following through with a program? So I know I'm the first one that will admit I'm so guilty of this. It's not something that's natural for me to do a program because I like to work out at the gym. I do teach Zumba classes. I do have all these other things going on. But at the end of the day, I think really engrossing yourself into a program, learning that discipline that it takes to complete a program start to finish is going to help your business so much. And something that he talked about was the fact that it takes discipline to do this business, right? Like, who wants to wake up extra early to do a workout? Who wants to wake up extra early to complete their power hour or skip time with their husband? Like right now, my husband's out there in the living room. I would love to be over there hanging out with him, relaxing, catching up on the day, and just spending quality time together. But we both have agreed that we are going to make a sacrifice, and we are committed to making this business grow. And what that requires is for me to be on team calls with you guys, which I absolutely love and enjoy as well. But again, it's still some type of sacrifice. It's a time sacrifice. So where I was going with all of this before I kind of got off track was doing a program teaches you discipline, right? It's not easy to wake up and press play. It's not easy to stick with a program for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks when you're like, I'm so sick of this. I don't want to see Shaun T's face again. Like, I don't want to look at him. I don't want to hear his voice. I'm just done with it. But you're learning and you're teaching yourself and practicing discipline every single time you press play, every single time you make the appropriate nutrition choice for yourself. Every time you drink your Shakeology, you're teaching yourself discipline in those times that you don't want to do it. And what that does is that flows into your business. And that discipline, it not only is for your fitness journey, but it will naturally fall into your business. So on those times where you need to do your power hour and you don't feel like it, you've taught yourself some discipline. You've had practice with discipline. It's going to be so much easier to show up in your business. And also, like, what are we sharing if we're not doing a program? It makes it so hard to share how you're feeling, the progress that you're seeing. You're probably not seeing progress, right, if you're not doing a program and you're not committed. So something that I would like for all of you guys to think about is, are you being proof that the products work? That is always number one, first and foremost. If you are going to dedicate your time to something in this business, that needs to be at the very, very top of your list. Because as you grow, as you transform and change, both internally and externally, with personal development too, that growth and that change, that's what's going to fuel your business. So when you're prioritizing things, obviously family is always first. Next in line probably should be your own personal health and fitness journey. And I'll let Christina add anything that she wants into that.
No, you pretty much said everything, Steph. And just keep in mind though too, like, this whole thing about self-care and taking care of you first, like, as hard as it is, especially you guys that have kids, like, that is the number one thing that I know we always preach to our challengers is, like, take care of you first, like, put your own mask on first before assisting other people. But it's harder to actually live it. And I'm sure for you guys that have kids, it's harder to live it and it's easier said than done. But at the end of the day though, like, we have to remember, if we're not taking care of us, who else is going to take care of us, right? Like, we are our only provider that is able to legitimately control what we're doing. We're able to control our emotions, our mindset, like all of this stuff we're in full control of. So as you're going through this journey, just always keep that in mind. And, if we're not doing a program or if we're not drinking our Shakeology, it doesn't necessarily have to be that we're doing, a specific program for 60 days altogether or whatever it is. But yes, it does totally build that discipline. But even if you're just, being proof that the Shakeology works and sharing about that, like, just knowing that you're doing something to better yourself, it's so much easier to share that with the world when you know that you're doing something that's good for you and you feel good about it. And then when it comes time to, invite people or share this with somebody else, it's not like you're faking it or like you feel bad about talking about it. It's like, it doesn't feel bad or gross or, anything like that. It feels legitimately genuine because you truly feel the benefits of it, and that everything is working for you. And that it's going to work for somebody else too. So, anything else, Steph, on that aspect?
No, I was going to add in what you just said at the end about how it makes the inviting process so much easier. And it takes a lot of pressure off because you're genuinely just sharing this with somebody and telling them, hey, it really is working for me. It has changed me. You have watched me change. You have seen me change, right? Because they're your friends. They've been following your journey. And it's only natural for you to want to help other people do the same. But when you're not getting those results, how are you going to believe in the product, right? How are you going to believe in the programs if you're not trying them yourself and doing them? And like Christine said, you don't have to do a program start to finish, because I know I don't. But what if you started with, I'm going to commit 1 week. I'm going to do this program for 1 week and I'm going to try it out and I want to see how I feel. And you tell people and you talk about it and you're like, I'm trying Shaun T this week, T25, whatever the case may be. And you commit, like making that commitment, making that decision that no matter what pops up this week, no matter all the different areas that I'm going to be pulled into in my life, this is a huge priority and I'm making that commitment and I'm deciding to do it and to show up every single day. And as you do that, you build so much more confidence in yourself and who you are. And then that confidence, obviously, that shows to the world. That brings confidence into your business. That brings confidence into your invite. And everything else just starts to flow a little bit easier.
Yeah. I literally just wrote that part down, but you just said it about how everything, it translates into everything that you do to share about this, like not just sharing on your social media. As you are inviting people to this opportunity, like everything that you do with this business is going to shine through in that invitation. Like if you sound like someone who's like, hey, I have a challenge group coming up and it would be kind of cool if you join, but if you don't want to, that's okay. Like people are going to know that like, okay, who is this girl and what is she doing? Like they're going to see that you're not confident in it. So the more you do the programs, the more you drink your shake, the more you see the results, the more you're doing your personal development, and the more that you're feeling everything inside and not just necessarily seeing it on the outside, but truly feeling the power of everything that we have to offer, the easier it's going to be for you to share about that with someone, or, to share about it with somebody else.
Okay.
So, and I know inviting for everybody is always one of the hardest things to do. Raise your hand if you invited somebody today. Anybody? Did anybody do any invites today?
No.
Okay. So yeah, it's hard, right? It's especially if the timing doesn't feel right? So that is like the power, truly, you guys, that is the power of building solid relationships. We don't want to be the people that are sending a cold invitation to somebody saying, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. You want to join and be a Beachbody coach with me? Like this person may have no idea who we are. They may have never seen us in their life. And here we are sending them a random invitation. Like what, who are you? And I'm talking Facebook. Okay. Instagram. I'm not even just pretend I'm not talking about Instagram right now. I'm talking strictly Facebook. Facebook is a very, it's a personal platform. And when you message somebody, they take that as a more personal approach to contacting them versus Instagram. It's just like people message you and ask for your phone number, like random guys. It's weird. But like on Facebook though, just like keep that stuff in mind. You wouldn't want somebody coming to you and saying, hey, I do this, join me, or just like all this random like stuff that doesn't feel good and it feels salesy. You don't nobody likes that stuff. So the important piece of building the relationship is like, that is where the foundation of the invitation comes from, because the more that you can talk to people and just get to know them on a genuine level, the easier it is to say, 2 days, 2 weeks, 2 months later, after you've had a little conversation with them going, it becomes so much easier to say, oh, hey, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you. Like that little, oh, hey, by the way, that's such an easy transition, right? Like, and it doesn't mean like it's coming out of nowhere. It's just, oh, hey, by the way, I've been meaning to ask you. I've got a fitness accountability group starting up next month. Would you want to jump in it with me? It's me and some awesome girls and guys taking part in this group, and I'd love for you to join in. Do you have any health goals or fitness goals you're working on? It's something as easy as that. But it all starts from prior to that building the relationship piece. And once you have that relationship built, it doesn't have to be, that person's your best friend. But once you have a little communication going back and forth, or even just communication going on, from their pictures or whatever, once you have that relationship built, that's when the invite feels good. It doesn't feel like you're being a salesperson, and it doesn't feel like gross. I know I got off topic, but yes, it translates into every single piece of the business, especially with coaching. One last thing before I turn it back over to you, Steph. We always talk about the importance of going to events, right? Especially events like Summit and Super Saturday events, all these huge things. I can't express enough how important it is to get to events like this, not just for your own personal growth and not just for your own business growth, but as you start to get further into the business and as your spouses get to go with you, or your boyfriends or girlfriends or whoever, and they start to see the power that this business has, it's going to just change your life in so many ways that you can't even imagine. Like the first time last year when I went to Summit, that was the first time that Steph and I met. That was the first time that pretty much I met everybody on the team, and Steph too. But that is like the eye opener. Like that is when you're like, holy crap, like this is what I'm a part of. I didn't even realize it was so amazing. I didn't realize that everyone around me had so much passion. I didn't realize that the CEO whose company I, am a part of, like that he has so much drive and desire and passion and love for everything that he does. And he's doing all of this for us and allowing us to spread this, love and knowledge and power and everything that we do to other people. Like it's just so amazing. So keep that in mind. if you can go to events, go, because that brings that confidence on even more. And that puts your belief in everything that you're doing in your business. It just solidifies it even more than it already is. And if it's not there, I promise you it will be. So go to events. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So to piggyback off the whole going to events thing, and all, like Christina just explained all the reasons why it's important to go. If you haven't been to events or you've been debating about events, I would encourage you to answer this question right now. Do you have a growth mindset? Are you curious about everything in this business? Do you want to grow? Like, would you mind sitting down for an hour or two and looking up trainings on YouTube, or spending time learning how to invite better, learning how to understand the back office? There's so many different aspects of this business that no matter how long you've done this, you will never know it all. There's never, ever, ever going to be a time where you're like, I've learned everything I need to know in this business. I can move on with my life, right? And I know that it can get super overwhelming if you feel like you need to know it all, but give yourself a break right now. Write this down if you have to, but you will never know everything that there is to know about this business, right? The whole key to success and to making this last long term and to getting out of ruts or preventing ruts in your business is to always, always, always be curious and have a growth mindset. And that means ask questions. You can ask questions to Christina and I, but before you even come to us, look it up. Look on YouTube. I mean, I remember being a brand new coach, and I might be a freak of nature, but I remember having tons and tons of questions and then going to YouTube and looking it up and spending tons of time. And while my husband's watching TV, I'm sitting here with my laptop watching trainings and taking notes and just being super duper excited to learn. I don't know if I remembered half the information that I watched, probably not, but it kept me enthusiastic to hear from these top coaches and to understand what they were doing and learn and suck in little tiny bits and pieces, because that's all you're going to be able to take. Christina and I could sit here and talk to you for 24 hours and you're probably only going to remember a handful of things, and that's totally okay. But the whole point is that you are constantly wanting to grow. You're constantly asking questions and you're curious. And I think what all of that comes down to is, are you passionate about what we do as Beachbody coaches? Are you passionate about the power that we have to influence other people? Because believe it or not, each and every one of us has an enormous amount of power to influence the people around us. I don't care if you only have 200 people on your friends list. You have power to influence all 200 of those people on your friends list. You might have 2,000 people on your friends list. But the whole point is, if you are not passionate, then it's going to be really, really hard to be curious. It's going to be really, really hard to have a growth mindset. When trainings and things like that are just on your shoulders and you don't want to do it, and calls like these are like, oh, I don't really want to be on another darn team call. That's when I think you need to do a heart check and say, what does coaching mean to me? And I think we're going to get into kind of what that means for everybody tonight. But if, Christina, you have anything to add before we segue into that?
No, I mean, that's perfect. Like, okay. It really is. And I do have one thing. Speaking of being passionate, I was listening to a training today, of course. Even when I would go live randomly, I know I haven't done it in a while, okay, probably in a week, but like when I used to go live, like when I was on the treadmill or like on the Stairmaster at the gym, like I would, no kidding, just listen to trainings for 40 minutes, what felt like hours on end while doing this stuff. But today I was listening to Sarah Dan, and she's in network marketing. She works directly with Beachbody coaches, but she was saying how a Beachbody coach came to her and, asked a question. Yesterday was her Q&A Tuesday. And she started saying, Sarah, I feel like I've been doing everything. I feel like I've been reaching out to people, and I've been, sending invites, and I feel like I've been growing my network, and I've been doing all these things, but nothing's working for me. And it's just so frustrating, and I want to give up, and I want to do this and that. And the first thing that she said, because this girl literally said, she's like, I want to quit. I don't even want to be here anymore. The first thing she says was, if you feel like you want to quit, first off, you do need to do a gut check and say, okay, am I feeling this because of some emotion that I'm having right now? And is it just because I am, feeling frustrated, or because I, maybe haven't been doing the things that I should be doing? But the main thing that she was talking about is if you're having these feelings, or if you're feeling like, oh, I don't want to do this, or I don't want to be on a team call, or I don't want to, do whatever, like you really have to dig deep and say, is this, like, am I really here for the right reasons? Like, is this where I'm supposed to be? Because I get it. There's times where I don't feel like doing a power hour, or, maybe I don't feel like getting on and, messaging people. But after it's all said and done, it's like, okay, I just messaged 10 people and like, I feel happy. Like, I feel good. Like, I gave them a compliment, or, they said something nice to me. Like, you feel better after doing all this stuff. So the more that we remove ourselves from the things that we know are going to push us forward, not only professionally, but personally as well, especially personal development, the more we move away from this stuff, the harder it's going to be for us to actually get back in it and feel legitimately good about where we are, and understand that this whole thing is a process. We learn, we grow every single day, but we have to be willing to learn and willing to grow and willing to invest every single day in order to get the most out of it. So, okay, that's all. You want to go into our whys?
Yeah, I'll start. So we are
doing whys and they jumped off.
I know, right? Who laughs? Because we will hunt you down. No, we are all going to go through our whys, and we didn't tell you ahead of time because we want it to be what comes off the top of your head. Like, whatever's on the top of your head right now is the thing that's driving you, whether it is your deep, deep why, or maybe you don't know what that is. And that's okay to let us know, because half the time I'm like, I don't really know what it is. And before we came on this call, Christina and I were like, oh, what are our whys? And we had to have a conversation about it before we really, really realized. And a lot of times we put so much pressure on the why, like your why should make you cry, or like there's these expectations of why you're doing this and it needs to be life-changing and shattering. But I don't necessarily, my why doesn't make me cry for sure, but it is very, very important and it's close to my heart. So as I'm talking, I'll go first and then Christina will go, but then we're going to open up the floor for you guys to just go one by one and tell us why you're coaching. So for me, I will be 100% honest. Last night was not a good night for me. And I literally was texting Christina and I let a lot of things overwhelm me in this business, like I'm sure all of us can relate to, right? And so I was like, I'm not where I want to be. And then when that one negative thought got into my head, it literally spiraled into this pity party for Stephanie. And by the end of it, I was like, I don't even want to do this anymore. This is pointless. I want to quit. And Christina was like, pump the brakes, take the night off, like get your mind right. And I did. So now talking about my why, I feel like I understand it a little bit better than I did last night. I would have to say that I have always loved fitness. Like, it's been my thing. I was a Zumba instructor before I started Beachbody coaching, but I never really understood how I could make a career in fitness besides being a personal trainer. And I didn't want to spend every morning and every evening at the gym because that's when the clients can come. So I went the different route. I wasn't happy at my job. Coaching kind of fell on my lap at the same time that I was looking for a change. So I tried it out with no expectation of where it would go. My husband was like, you literally have 3 months and it's either going to make or break, but we're only paying for the Shakeology stuff for 3 months. And after that, if you're not making enough to cover the cost, we're done. And I agreed with that. So within that 3 months, I definitely made my money back and some, but I also found inner confidence and strength. And I grew so much in that short amount of time that I was addicted to the business, not necessarily the vital behaviors, but I was addicted to how this business made me feel. I had the best relationship with food that I had had in a really long time. I was losing weight. So that again goes back to your physical journey. I had never done personal development. I didn't even know what it is. And now I was doing it every single day. And I was wanting to wake up at 5 a.m. when I didn't have to be at work till 8. I was wanting to stay up super late. And you guys, I don't know if everybody knows this, but when I first started coaching, I took coaching on as my 4th job. So I was working full-time at elementary school. I worked 1 day a week at a residential treatment facility for girls who were mentally ill. And then I also taught Zumba. I think I was teaching 2 or 3 Zumba classes a night. So my schedule was full, and I was newlywed. I was just married. My schedule was crazy, crazy full, but I knew that there had to be more to life. I wanted to feel fulfilled, and I wanted to feel like all the dreams that my husband and I could ever have were possible. And I think that's what Beachbody has given me. And that is why I've become so passionate, not only about health and fitness, but about Beachbody and the culture and what it has to offer. It's the hardest thing that I've ever done in my entire life. Like college, piece of cake, but this business has challenged me more than anything else. It's taken more sacrifice from not only me, but also my husband. And when I got to that point last night where I was like, guys, Christina, I want to quit. Really in the back of my head, I thought about all the skin that I have in the game. I have so much freaking skin in this game, so much blood, sweat, tears, and my husband too, blood, sweat, tears. Like, we have given so much of ourselves into this business that the thought of quitting and giving all that hard work up and just throwing it to the side, there's no way. Like, it's not even possible. I would rather struggle in this business, learn and grow and improve slowly along the way. I don't care how long it takes, than quit and give it all up and give up all my dreams, all the hard work, all the dedication, and let not only myself down, but my husband down too. So for me, I'm doing this to help people, of course, but then also like my personal reasons of why I want to do this is that I know that for me and my husband, the outcome in the end is going to be the best life that we could ever possibly live. So there's my why, guys.
Awesome. Okay, so, and like when we go through this, guys, like don't feel like you have to like say something like ultra crazy, like just speak from the heart. Like that's really what this is about, just speaking to each other. And even if you don't know your why, like say that too, but just dig deep. Like I encourage you guys and challenge you guys to just dig deeper than you have before, because I promise you there is something that's keeping you here. If you haven't quit yet, you're here for a reason. So figure out what that reason is, and we're going to figure it out tonight. So, okay. My why has it's evolved. And I think that's something that's also important to remember, is that the reason why you started might not be the same reason that you're still here today. So for me, when I first started this, I don't know many if you guys know, but I was in the Marine Corps for 5 years and then the Naval Academy for 4 years before that. So like military life is kind of all I've been used to and all I've known. But my last job in the Marine Corps, I just was not fulfilled whatsoever. Like I wasn't happy. I was bringing my stress home from work all the time. I was working crazy shifts. Like I felt stressed to the max every single day, like literally more stressed in this job than I was on my deployment to Afghanistan. So I'm like, there's something wrong here. Like I am not in the right spot that I'm supposed to be in life. Like this is just like, I get it. Everything happens for a reason, but I was not in a good place. So long story short, I ended up transitioning out of the Marine Corps on a good note. Everything was great. Like I didn't get out because of that job. Like it was my end of service was coming up and I had decided to not continue going on in my career in the Marine Corps. But when I had switched out, I really didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. Like I did, but at the same time I didn't. I was getting all these job offers for cybersecurity and I was getting, IT type stuff. But at the end of the day, like I hated that stuff. Like that is not where my passions were whatsoever. And I'm like, I love fitness. I love health. I love helping people. And the only reason, like the only thing that I knew that like kind of how Stephanie said, the only thing I knew that I could do to help people was either one, become a personal trainer. So I did that. I ended up starting my personal trainer certifications when I was still in the Marine Corps and I finished those and a couple other ones. But it was either that or I'm like, okay, or I can start my online coaching business, my own online coaching business somehow. Like I didn't even think about Beachbody coaching because I really didn't even know it existed until Jessie reached out to me. I didn't know who the heck Jessie was. She found me on Instagram. And if this just goes to show you guys, if Jessie didn't have the courage to just send me a message on Instagram without even, like I told you, Instagram's a different platform. She didn't even know who I was, but she saw something in me and she's like, this girl's going to be a badass coach. I'm not saying I'm a badass coach, but that's what she thought. So she thought that I would be an awesome coach. And she told me that. And she just sent me a random message and said that. And I'm like, okay, I was the easiest sale in the world because I literally bought a challenge pack that night. But she told me like, hey, this is what it's about. Here's the sneak peek, join in. And I ended up joining. And I remember that exact night talking to my husband about it. And he told me, do whatever you want to do. But I remember what my mom told me the day that I went to the Naval Academy, the day that I was making the decision to go, to accept my offer, to not accept it. And she said, you have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So from that point forward, that's literally how I've tried to live out every piece of my life. You have everything to gain and nothing to lose. So with that mindset, I just went into this, and I went in at first not knowing if it was going to be something that I wanted to do. I thought, hey, I'll just see how this goes. I'll try it out as a side job. Well, clearly as time went on, I found out that this was my passion. This was my love. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And without it, I don't know what I'd be doing right now, to be honest. Like, looking back, if I would have accepted this job that I was literally about to accept, I was at the third and final step of this interview process. And I told Marcus on my way home at the airport, I called him and I said, I don't know what it is, but I am literally not excited about this job offer. Like, they were offering me an amazing salary, full benefits, like everything you could imagine. And I told him, I'm like, I don't know what it is, but I'm not excited about this. Like, I feel like I can't even accept it. So I didn't. And literally 2 days later, Jessie messaged me and asked me to become a coach. And if she wouldn't have done that, I have no clue where I'd be. If I would have accepted that job, I'd probably still be in Michigan. I don't know what Marcus would be doing. Would we be living this amazing life of travel that we've always wanted to do? I have no idea. But honestly, like, that's part of what keeps me here every day. Honestly, the part of knowing that I love what I do and I'm so passionate about it, because this is like, I know that this is what I was born to do. But at the same time, knowing that I'm born to do more. Like, even where I am right now, I know that I can do so much more in life. And I haven't been able to see that until I got out of the military. And not saying that the military held me down, but you're in such an enclosed part of the world. All you know is military, and you don't see anything else that's out there. Until I got out and I'm like, oh my gosh, like the opportunities are endless. I can do whatever the hell I want and nobody's going to tell me I can or can't do something. Like, this is amazing. So that is part of why I'm still here. I mean, obviously for you guys too, I'm not going anywhere because I won't leave you guys. But just the fact of knowing that there's so much more, the fact of knowing that I'm capable of so much more, and the fact of knowing that I know exactly what my vision is in life, and I know where I see myself and my husband 10, 15, 20 years from now. And whether or not, we're in the exact place that I envision us, like, I know that 10, 20 years from now, 30 years from now, I don't want to have to worry about saving money for my college or my kids' college fund. I don't want to have to worry about paying for my daughter's wedding. Like, just things like this, thinking about the future. I know that if I were to ever give up on this, like, what am I going to do? Like, why would I give up on this? Like, this is something that no one else has the opportunity to do unless they're actually a coach. Like, no one else gets the opportunity to start up a business with $160 and just go and have the potential to be in a millionaires club. Like, it's just insane to me. So I'm not saying that the finances are my why, but I know that my vision is part of my why. And I know that everything that I'm here to do and I'm passionate about and I love it so much, like, that is what keeps me here. So I could keep going, but I'm not going to keep going. I'm going to turn it over to the next person on the thing. So who do we want next? Let's have Maddie go next because she's next on the thing.
Okay, so my why was really unclear when I decided to do it. It was more like Christina, like, I just jumped in. I like life. I know life gets really crazy. Like right now, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I've contemplated quitting just because it's crazy. Like, I am doing 2 internships, school, reservice, marriage, live, vacation, summer, everything, you name it, it's an excuse. And there's 2 things I can mention as my why. One is mainly accountability for myself. Whenever I want to help someone, I have to help myself first. And that has helped me a lot because even after I got out of the Marine Corps, that I knew a little bit more about fitness and whatnot, I still gained weight, and that was like up and down the whole time. And that wasn't because of just like I gain weight or I lose weight. It's like more like that comes with like emotional burden and just bad decisions, like you're eating. I eat a lot because of emotions and stuff, and that's not good. So I have learned a lot through Beachbody portion control mainly. That it's not, how do I say it? It's not it's not all that I want to eat, but what matters, like what actually works on the body. And I think that the second why would be helping people. Like just the fact, like I'm a sociology major, and that's the decision of being a sociologist was mainly so I could do social work. And I am a fitness freak for all those that have me on Instagram and Facebook. So I know that this is the best way for me to both help people and help myself. So if it comes with a group of people that keep me, y'all, like, so even like when I don't comment or like or anything, like just looking at how everyone is so focused and they're putting in so much work, that's what motivates me. And that's what I'm here. Like literally, that's what has kept me here. And I'm on my 4th month, and I have honestly the past 2 months just gone crazy in life. School, I just had to get a new car, drill. It's been crazy, and I have like pushed the business a little bit to the side, but I'm not gonna quit. Like I told Christina the other day, I was like, I'm still here. Like I'm not around as much, but I'm still here. I will be here. So those are my 2 whys.
Yeah, it is important to know for sure, like we all have so many things that can keep us from doing what we love to do so much. And it's so easy to turn our attention toward even those things that are seeming like negative things in our life. Like, oh, I have this going on or I have that going on, and it's causing me stress and like all this stuff. And it's so easy to feed that negative energy, right? But it's like when it's all said and done, like when we really think about it, when we come back to the business and doing stuff like this, like I don't know about you guys, but when I get off team calls, I'm happy. Like I love being around you guys and talking and doing all these things as a team.
Yeah, I feel like so motivated, like no lie.
Yeah, like the more we come back to doing what we're passionate about and what we love so much, why did I ever even, like, why am I letting all this stuff consume me? Like, just make time for me, let me do what I know I gotta do, and I'll deal with all that other crap some other time, like, or later, you know what I mean? But, yeah. Okay, thank you, Maddie. Okay, Monica. Is she there? I think she's frozen. Okay, we'll come back to Monica because she's frozen like this. I don't know if you guys can see her, but she's frozen. Okay, Christine, I just unmuted you.
Sweet, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. Sorry, I'm like trying to change right now. I literally just got done with work and oh my gosh. But okay, so my why. I think more of my why is I'm trying to eat healthier, and just be healthier. I've always been like a really active person because I played soccer all growing up and all through college and everything, but I've always eaten like shit. Not gonna lie, like burgers, hamburgers, like crap, all the time. So, I have a lot of arthritis and gout in my family, and my dad has had like a lot of arthritis and gout attacks, and he's just telling me like the stuff that you put in your body now is the things that are going to affect you later. So, I've really tried to have been watching exactly like what I'm eating, and I think that is that's my more main reason as to like why I wanted to start doing Beachbody is just to like live a healthier life. Not necessarily in the like active role of it. It's just like eating healthier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a huge thing too. Like you guys, our whys can be in so many different areas. Like I told you, like I'm sure Steph and I could go on about our whys for literally like 2 hours a piece, but even just the fact of like being here because you want to set that example for people in your family or the people around you. Like I know personally, I have family members who are so unhealthy. Like I just want to shove Shakeology down their throat every day. But yeah. I mean, it's, if that is part of your why, like that's a huge piece. Like you want to set that example for not only the people in your family, but you want to set that example by being the person who is literally like showing up every day and, walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So yeah, that's a really powerful why.
Yeah.
Matt, you're next.
What's up?
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Okay, I'm reading this thing. What do you want me to say? I'm new to this, so I... So,
Just share why did you decide to coach? Why is this important?
well, I decided to coach because, well, you like kept putting it in my face. I'm like, oh, all right, I'll put it aside.
But I put it in your face for really, really long. What made you decide to really like, okay, now I want to do it?
I don't know. I like to lead people and be a leader and show people that if I can do something, put my mind to it, they can do it. I've been training for 5 years, like I said, and I feel like that doing these kind of workouts can help people, and they have no excuse, especially at home, because they can do this for a half hour of one of the routines of the videos, and I can I'm a good guidance, and I'm pretty much fun to be a coach. Like, I'm not mean, I'm very easygoing, very supportive, and very motivating, and I think that Beachbody brings to me that I can grow on it and show my awesome personality and show that people that I have the growth of making a good business and being a leader someday, and yeah, that good?
Yeah. No, that's perfect.
Okay. Steph's just writing down like normal. You take notes all the time, Steph. You're on mute. She's on mute. So how?
Yeah, here's your why. I wrote it down. Don't forget.
Because Steph and I forget everything if we don't write it down.
Oh yeah, I can call her my secretary girl because she can write things down. She can be my mom.
I'm old enough to be.
No, you're not. You'll be like a young mom. Get out of here.
All right, thanks, Matt. Okay, next up we have Joni. I unmuted you, Joan. Joni, are you there?
Did you say my name?
Joni? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry. I had you guys on mute too on my phone.
Oh.
I'm those. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, all right. So my why has definitely changed from the beginning since I started coaching about a year ago. And when I started, obviously it was like the generic, like, hey, I want to help people and make their lives better and all that jazz. And then of course it was, hey, if I could just pay for my Shakeology per month, that would be great. And then it kind of grew into like, I could see the potential of it being an actual, like something that I could do like day to day. But then I'm not going to lie, truthfully, I let the ups and downs of life get in the way, and it made it harder to, I don't know, I'm a lot like, I can't remember the person that just talked right after Christina, where she said like, where you feel like you can't help somebody else without not like being a good example or helping yourself. And that's kind of where I'm sitting now, because I feel like anytime I post anything, I feel like I'm under a microscope. Like, people are looking at me, they're watching everything I do. And right now, in case y'all don't know, I'm literally living in a motorhome in my in-laws driveway, only because the house process, we sold our house a lot faster than we anticipated, and we just about 2-3 weeks ago put a purchase agreement on a new house, but we're not going to be able to move in until the middle of July. So probably either during the time Summit's happening or right after Summit. And so my life has just been just completely chaotic. And I thought that the business would help keep me grounded, but I think more than anything, I let it just overwhelm me. And I feel like now I'm just getting back into where my goal and my why is I just want to set a good example for my kids and set a good example for my family. I mean, I've noticed how like my in-laws eat and how my husband eats, and it's actually been very eye-opening as to like why my husband is very overweight, because they don't do anything with portions. Like for them, it's like, well, if you could seconds and thirds, like that's no big deal. Like, why wouldn't you? Don't let this food go to waste. Where of course in, our coach's eyes here, we're all like, dude, that's like food for the next 3 weeks. Like, why would you waste that? And that's been a big eye opener. And for me now, going through this process, I feel like I can finally say, like, I want to do this because I want to show my kids that hard work, whether I'm doing this for health reasons or I'm doing this because, hey, I want to buy a new home or I want to be able to buy a boat or whatever it may be, that you can do it with putting hard work into it. And so I guess my why really doesn't have anything to do really with money, and it really doesn't have anything to do necessarily with helping people. It's just being a better mom, being a better me, being a better wife, just being a better person in general. And if I can help one person along the way, then I just feel like that. I mean, as John Acuff would say, your purpose plus your talent, or not your purpose plus talent, but your talent plus serving people equals purpose. And I feel like if I could just do that once, like that makes all the day brighter. So I guess that's really my why right now.
That's awesome, Joan. Thank you for sharing that.
Sorry, I didn't go all crazy on you.
No, that's awesome. It's really good to hear that. Family's a powerful thing, and to be the best version of you, like that is ultimately the first thing we are here to do as coaches. Like, we can't help anybody else unless we are truly helping ourselves. So yeah, that's great.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. No, thanks for sharing that, Joan. Steph, did you want to add anything at all?
Sorry, I'm muted. No, I was just going to say that that's super powerful, I think, especially what she said about just setting a good example and being so much more aware of how everybody else is eating around you, especially the people that you care about. I think as a coach, that's something that just naturally starts to happen, is you gain that awareness. And then being able to even make a small impact so that, you can change, you can help your loved ones change, even if it's in a small way, to improve their quality of life and their physical health, and how much longer they're around with us. Because at the end of the day, we want as much time together as possible. So I think that's a fabulous why.
Yeah, totally agree. Thanks, Joan.
Thank you, girl.
All right, we have a couple more left. We've got Jill.
I have a mouthful of Shakeology, huh?
Good.
Let me see. I first did it for me. I was, having 3 kids, your body goes through changes. I went through postpartum depression with my last 2 babies, and I started having anxiety and depression, and the doctor wanted to get me on medicine, and I didn't want to take medicine. I wanted to just be normal, And so he said, okay, exercising will help that. So I started my journey of exercise, and I started feeling better, but then I wasn't seeing the results I wanted to see. And then Christina, has seen me post stuff on Facebook about me working out and everything, and she reached out to me and said, hey, why don't you try this? And I'm thinking, well, sure, why the hell not? What do I got to lose? Because my mother, she was a very heavy set woman. She's 5'2", 250 pounds, had 3 children, really had trouble losing weight. And I used to try to help her lose weight. And I was her motivation when I was in high school. And so that's another why I decided to, coach, is because I like to help people. And I also want to give them hope when they feel like they've lost it all. Because my mother was a big one of that. She would be so hard on herself and be very down. And I tell her, Mom, you got this. You can change this. You can always lose the weight, And so I would always help her in her journey, even though I didn't have a problem with my weight until after I had kids. So now I got myself back on track, not only physically and mentally, but spiritually too. And then now I'm able to help others on their journey. And I mean, you hit those brick walls sometimes. It's like, why am I doing this? And then you just kind of have to recenter yourself again. Okay, this is why I started my journey, and I'm going to finish it. And I just keep going. I mean, like myself right now, life's crazy. It's busy. I've got 3 kids. They're finishing school right now. I am in summer classes. I'm taking a lot on. And of course, being married to a Marine who is always busy, you know, Maddie understands that. I know how crazy Maddie's schedule is. I think that's why her and I make good teammates. But we always try to reach it back to each other and start, you know, working the business. And I haven't been putting in a whole lot into it, you know, like I probably should, but I've had other things on my plate. So it's kind of been, it's been part-time, to be honest. And I know that once things slow down and I'm able to give more energy and more of myself to it, then I'll be able to go further in that. And and Maddie's the same way. You know, she gets busy and she kind of puts on the back burner a little bit, but we always come back to it and we always go at it, but we don't stop. We don't quit. So I think that's what matters, is we just keep going. That was Titan shaking. I don't know if you could hear that.
No, thanks, Jill. It's important to remember that too, like to never compare yourself to someone else's journey in the Beachbody coaching world, because it's very, very easy to do that. It's very easy to look at a top coach and think why can't I be there? I mean, Steph and I are, we are guilty of this a lot. And we sometimes tell ourselves like, okay, stop. Like, we just need to remember that we all have our own, our own timelines. We all have our own journeys. And so long as we stay consistent the best we can and do what we know we can do every single day to become the best person that we can be every day, like that's really all we can ask of ourselves. We can't, be upset that we're not a top 10 coach in 2 years. Like, I don't know how the heck Ashley did it, but like, we just need to realize that comparing ourselves is not going to get us anywhere. So really figuring out what feels best for you in your business. And if that is, hey, I do know that I need to take care of X, Y, and Z right now, but I know for a fact that as soon as I'm done with this, like I am going in full force back with coaching or whatever it is that you know that you want to do, like just so long as you are never going to completely just say I'm done and throw in the towel, like that is really what matters most. And if you do want to continue to grow in the business, then that's completely possible too. It's just all a matter of what you want to do, what time you're willing to give, and go from there. So, thank you, Jill. Did you have something, Steph?
No, it was all fabulous.
Okay, we have, who just got on? 9798. Is that Monica?
Monica's on, I think.
Okay, Monica and Danielle.
And Leah.
And Leah. Yeah, I didn't see Leah. Okay, go ahead. Monica, are you there?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So my why is kind of interesting too. It kind of mimics Joni's why as well. For me, it's so I can set a good example for my daughters, and for me to stay young and active. But really, it started, I think like 7 or 8 years ago for me. And I don't know if you guys even know of the program called Slim and Six, but I bought it like 13, 14 years ago, and it sat in a box until like 7 years ago. 7 or 8 years ago, I had an injury to my back, and it required surgery. It was so severe that I couldn't even walk on some days. It was horrible. And at the time, I was a young mother. My youngest was about two and a half years old. And I remember the doctor saying, I will never be able to pick her up again. And as a mother, that's very crushing, to not be able to pick up your toddler when she falls down and gets hurt, or she needs to be consoled, or, whatever. But I remember going through this surgery and being pretty frightened because I didn't know how I was going to recover or how I was going to be. I just felt like I was never going to be the same again. So after recovering, a couple months later, like 3 or 4 months later, I felt very weak, and I had gained a lot of weight, and I wasn't happy with myself. I was very moody, and depressed. And I thought, I am going to prove this doctor wrong. There's no way I'm not going to be able to be there for my kids. So I pulled out that Slim and Six and I started using it. And I thought, geez, after only a couple of weeks, I started to see the weight just melt off. And then I got stronger. And then a couple months after that, sure enough, I was able to pick up my daughter. And then for me, it was addictive. After that, I just kept going. And I guess the thing is I want to set that example for my kids especially, because I don't want them to ever listen to somebody else tell them that they can't do something, or they won't be able to do something, that they're not going to be strong enough, or they're not going to be smart enough, or they're not going to be enough. And I feel like if I can show that to my kids, my daughters, and help them, that would be worth it. And along the way, I thought, well, why stop at just my children? You know, there are other women who have had back surgeries and other things happening to them, and they may have been told by doctors or specialists that they're not going to be able to do something again. And that might not be true, you know? So that's kind of my why.
Sorry, I was muted. I didn't even realize I muted myself. No, Monica, that's super powerful. What did you say? You had to have surgery for what?
My back.
Oh, your back. Jesus. Wow. Yeah, that's it's definitely very powerful. But it's definitely good though that, you know, being that example for your kids, because no one ever wants to be told that they physically or mentally or emotionally like can't do something. So I think that your why is amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, we will go with Leah and then Danielle. And first off, you guys, like, thank you for staying on. I know it's already getting past 9 on the East Coast, so we really appreciate you guys staying on and just hearing everybody. And we wanted to make this team call just more of a, you know, open discussion type thing. And I know Steph and I obviously always talk the majority of the time, but just wanting to like hear your guys' why it's powerful. And I think it benefits everybody to hear each other's why. So, okay, Leah, and then we'll go Danielle right after that.
Hey everybody. So yeah, it's definitely been good to hear from other people too. So thank you guys, you know, for your courage in telling us, you know, what started everything. And for me, you know, I've been a big girl all my life, you know, and I've tried so many things. You know, some things worked, some things didn't, but you know, I got to a point where I remember Anthony, my son, was only 2, and while I was working, just having lunch that a certain day, I ended up having a mini stroke. It was like 3 little blips in my brain that they caught, and I made it through, obviously, strong. They couldn't really find anything wrong with me, with my brain, other than finding those passerbyers. My heart was strong and everything else. And all they could say to me, yeah, we don't know what happened, but maybe if you lose weight. Okay, yeah, thanks. I know. So that's what really started my weight loss journey. I never minded exercise, but, you know, dietary choices were always poor growing up. And, you know, like I said before, I tried so many things. And up until a couple of months ago, I had a huge wall of fear. Stephanie, you know this. And I didn't even announce that I was a coach until just recently. Why? Because I was involved with other things for a while, and I tried my best with a certain other company, which I did make amazing results, but at the same time, I felt like forced to chug their shakes, even though they were delicious, forced to take all of these tablets, drink all of this, drink all of that, you know, all different types of things. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm spending so much money, even though I've earned a discount, but so much money, so much stuff going in my body, and they never taught me the nutrition behind everything that Beachbody has. I've released myself of all of these supplements. I've released myself of all these special drinks that I don't even know if they worked or not, honestly. But also in the last few years, I've become a fitness instructor. I teach Zumba, Aqua Zumba, Zumba for kids. I'm working on my AFA certification. And I just feel so blessed that I've been able to get a fitness career of my dreams. I never thought I would actually be a fitness instructor, but I've always wanted to. You remember a little program called Taibo? Yeah, fell in love with that, and I thought maybe one day I could be a Taibo instructor, but that, Billy Blaine's kind of disappeared a little bit. But, I also was familiar with Slim and Six back in the day and Power 90 when it came out on VHS and things like that. And so I always knew about Beachbody, but I never thought I would be a coach with them, us. But, Stephanie, when I tried Shakeology, over a year ago, and with everything else going on, I, had a bad reaction. But, the fact that I came back because I knew, like, oh my gosh, on the back of this package, it just looks amazing. Let me try it again. Let me try it again. And I'm so happy that I did, because not only is this a part of my physical transformation, and I know I can do it, and I never knew that I could take it to the level that I want to in my dreams. Stephanie, you know my secret, and I might as well tell everybody at this point. I'm gonna just go for it, right, Stephanie? Yes? Yes? Okay, so yeah, I still have a long way to go, but seeing Stephanie go on stage and that inspiration, for me, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get my purple sparkly bikini one day and step on that stage. You watch. And I think with Beachbody and all the support I get from you guys, and all the nutritional things that I've been learning with Beachbody, I know what to do. Just got to do it. So hope you can come to my show. So yeah, that with, not only the physical, but the personal development that I've never really done before Beachbody has dramatically helped, in my confidence, losing my fear, and, believing in that one day that I will step on stage. I never would have thought I could. And there's been so much support saying, well, yeah, of course you can. And I just feel so empowered by that. And, all the people that believe in me. And I don't want to let myself down. I don't want to let anybody else down. And in the process, I hope to help a lot of people in the way, So there you have it.
That was so good. And I wrote them down, but you have like 7 different whys. Awesome. I mean, the more whys you have and the stronger that they are, the easier it is for you to get up and get going every single day. And yes, one day you will step on stage.
That will help, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't made anything yet besides the little bet we had back in January. But yeah, hopefully that'll fall into place too, because I definitely need some paychecks rolling in. Yes, go ahead. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, Leah. That was awesome. All right, Danielle, you are the last person. I unmuted you. You're good. Maybe. Danielle, are you there? Danielle?
Hi, now I got the notification I'm unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So I left the call for a little bit because I've got some family stuff going on with my brother, so my mind isn't like totally here, and I'm sorry I didn't hear everything that everybody was talking about. I pretty much just hopped back on basically when Joni was midway through her story. So I'm a little scatterbrained at the moment, but I'm going to try to share some. So I don't know that I can really narrow down necessarily a why. Maybe I haven't sat and gave it enough thought to really say, yeah, this is definitely it. I feel like it's so many things, but at the moment, given like my emotional state and everything, the first thing that comes to mind for me is confidence, is PD, is sharing and letting other people know that they aren't the only ones that feel however it is that they feel, whether it has to do with health and fitness or mental or whatever it is that they're going through, that somebody else has been there. And I think I spent a good portion of my life thinking that, you know, everybody else was better than me, did things better, and was more successful, had things easier, or were smarter, or just whatever it was. I was constantly comparing myself to other people, and it made me very insecure person, and I'm still working on that. I'm still working on my confidence. I'm still fighting through all of those fears every single day, but I would not be able to if it weren't for the mental things that I've learned through this, and being able to connect with people and knowing that other people struggle the worst or worse than me, the same as me, less than me. You know, we all have our own things. And I think a lot of times, you know, people like to always show the best of themselves. And so it kind of represents falsely, especially social media, you know. So I feel like it's been really powerful to know other people have the same kind of day as I have, the same kind of day I'm having right now. So that will help me pull through. And not only that, but I found myself thinking today, as I was talking to my brother, he's got some mental issues. He's an extremely smart person, and he has 2 degrees, engineering and business management, and he's just under 5 years younger than me. And he's a very capable person, but there's something that he lacks, and it makes things a mental struggle for him, and it makes it very hard to talk to him. And today he scared me a little bit. He had gone for an interview for a job, and he had his hopes up, and basically it got squished, and he did not get the job. And he kind of blew up, and he said some things that made me fearful for him. So I've been dealing with that all since maybe 6 o'clock today, back and forth through class, and my mom is home now with him. So hopefully he's able to kind of talk himself down. But it helped, this whole PD and confidence thing and whatnot helped me to talk to him today, to be able to give him some words of encouragement. Whether or not any of that was received, I don't really know, but I said it and I put it out there, and maybe he'll have a chance to think on it, to grow on it, and maybe it will help him. And that is that's powerful for me. So I guess at the moment, that is my big why. Everything that I have learned through coaching and that I do through coaching has helped me, and I just want to pass that on, I guess.
Okay. Oh, am I muted? No. Okay. Thank you, Danielle. You know, I like, just after listening to everybody, I know like there's so much going on, and it's sometimes it's stuff like this that we really need to just kind of open up and just talk with each other about life in general, because we don't get to do it enough. Like, we all are just it's so easy to get consumed with life and get behind our computers and like do the everyday thing of life and, you know, be on our schedules. But sometimes like we forget that our team is here for this reason. Like, we are here for each other because we love one another and we support each other, and we're going to be here for each other no matter what. So whatever you guys are going through, like, don't be afraid to just even talk about it, like in the group thread, or call one of us. Like, honest to God, like if you guys were to call Steph or I or whoever, like at 2 a.m., like, I don't care. It might take me like a couple tries to answer, but if you ever need any of us, like, we are here. And that is exactly why we're here. Like, we're not just here to be like your mentors and coaches and all this stuff. Like, we're here because we're family. So always remember that. Like, don't ever feel like you can't reach out to us or, you know, talk about just life, because shit happens. Things happen in life that we can't control, and sometimes we just need somebody to talk to. And I know that if I didn't have you guys, and if I didn't have stuff to FaceTime every day, like, I'd go nuts. So just keep that in mind and never forget that.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for everybody sharing and opening up. And I know we put you on the spot. I know this wasn't something that you had time to rehearse or plan for, but that was the whole point. We just wanted it to come from the heart. And I feel so blessed to be on a team where it's okay to just show up as you. There's no need to pretend to be anybody else. There's no need to impress anybody. Like, you get to, like, this team, this place is just where you can show up and be you and take down all your guards. And that's what I saw tonight on the team. So I'm just super duper blessed to be a part of the community and have you guys all by my side.
Yes. And remember too, last thing, it's okay if you are here and you decide that, you know, your why is not the same anymore. Like, your why will evolve over and over and over and over again. And I don't even think the why that I shared is probably as deep as I could have gone. Actually, I know for a fact it wasn't. I'm sure Steph's wasn't either. Like, I think the very first time I shared my why, it was on a camera because I wanted to talk about it and share it with people that I guess it's basically why I started coaching. And I was going to share it with people who potentially wanted to coach too. But I literally started crying on that video. And I'm like, I never really realized how powerful it was until I said it back then. But just know that your why can evolve. It will evolve, and it will. How am I trying to say this? We all have a story, right? Whatever our story is, there's many like facets of our story that can be a part of our why. So it doesn't have to be one specific thing. Don't feel like it has to be. Don't feel like it has to be just like the same as someone else's. Like, whatever it is that's keeping you here, just always remember that and never forget it, because that is the reason why we're here, and that is the reason why we're continuing to do what we do every day. So, and I will tell you guys, both Stephanie and I, part of our why is because we want to see you guys succeed. That is a huge part of our why, whether you realize it or not. We want to be here to see you guys become the best versions of you possible, because we see potential in every single one of you, and we know that you guys are capable of so much. And that, like, seeing you guys like do amazing things and be happy and like love what you're doing every day, like, that makes us happy. Like, I don't know why, like, it's almost like Jill's husband Norm is on. Like, when I was in the military working with you guys, like, I felt like they were like my kids, even though Norman is older than I am, like you just develop that relationship that you're just like, I want to see you be successful. And I know that you have what it takes to do it. And it just makes us so happy. And our hearts are so fulfilled when we just see you guys loving what you're doing and being so passionate about what you do every day. And it's awesome. So
I know you guys don't see it probably as much as we shout you guys out. We try to give recognition in our team pages, but we brag on you guys to each other all the time. I'll be like, oh my gosh, so-and-so, even for the smallest things, like so-and-so posted this, or so-and-so said this, or attended this. Like we are constantly bragging and talking about you guys all the time because we're already so proud of you. And we only see you guys going further and further and further, whether that means that you want to help a ton of people or you just want to grow in your own personal journey. We don't care. We just want to see you guys be successful in the best way that feels good to you.
Mm-hmm. And last thing, I promise, don't be afraid to talk about what you're going through. I know it's hard to be vulnerable in front of people. It's a little like we have a safe environment here, but I know on social media it's tough to just talk about what you're going through. But I promise you that is how people are inspired by you. They're inspired by your story because we say it all the time, people don't relate to perfect. They just don't. Nobody wants to see this perfect life and like work with that person or they might want to be like that person, but let's be real. Are they going to be confident or comfortable having a conversation with you if they feel like they're talking to the most perfect person in the world? Like, no, share the things that are going wrong. Share the things that you're struggling with. Share whatever the heck that's going on in your life, but share how you're overcoming it. You know, don't be afraid to talk about these things and give people a life lesson that maybe you learned today or yesterday or whatever. So no matter what we're going through, just always remember your story is powerful and it can impact more lives than you could ever imagine. And
this is a super quick story. I promise it'll be super short. But it happened today, so I figure it's relevant. Today I went and I met some friends who I haven't seen in like 10 years. And one of the girls, I haven't really seen her, I don't think, since maybe middle school. So that's almost 20 years ago. But she follows me. We're friends on Facebook. And today when we were talking, I was like, I knew that she had gotten married a year ago. She told me she's celebrating her year anniversary this weekend. And she tells me, she's like, that post you put up like probably closer to the beginning of the year, but you were talking about your marriage and how things change when you're married and how you have to work on things. She's like, I remember that post. And she's like, I can totally relate to that. And then we started talking about the post that I made months ago and how it related to her and how she's going through a similar experience. And we were able to connect so much deeper than it would have been if she had no idea what was going on in my life. She didn't have any idea about my vulnerabilities. It was like we've seen each other all the time, even though it's been almost 20 years, So when you're putting that out there, it's a great way for people to genuinely connect with you because there's not a lot of people on the internet being real. So you will stand out from the crowd. People will see it. They might not always like on the post. They might not always comment. You might not even know that they're following you, but they are connecting with you and they need to see like, hey, it's okay to just be a normal person. We're all just human at the end of the day. Like, it's okay that I'm not this perfect girl or I'm not that perfect mom or I'm not this perfect fitness star. Like, it's okay for me to have these cravings and these feelings and these emotions all the time. Mm-hmm. Okay, that was it. I promise.
Yeah. And this is the final thing. Norman talk, because I know he wants to say something. You really will start to realize that even though you don't think people are looking or watching or being inspired, people will send you random messages, whether you believe it or not. I had a random girl. I didn't even know that she was my Facebook friend. Like, I think we know each other from maybe elementary school, but she shared one of my posts and literally said, I love Christina Manier so much. She is seriously my inspiration. And since I've been following her or since I've, been watching her journey, I've literally been on my own journey and I've lost 15 pounds. Like I'm like just sharing that. I read that and I'm like, what? Like that just like, oh my gosh, like having someone say that and feel that inspired by me. And I didn't even know I was doing anything to inspire someone. Like I'm just talking about my life and the things that I'm going through. Like that stuff, it just solidifies even more why you're here and how much of an impact you can have on someone else's life. So never forget the power that you have to change someone's life because I promise you, you do. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Before we go, Norman, Jill's husband, wants to say something. What did you want to say?
So I jumped in. I kind of got here off of work when Jill was talking about her why and everything, and I was kind of listening in. And the biggest thing that I got from everybody talking brought me back to something that I read to inspire my Marines. And it's a simple quote. I forget who said it, but basically what it comes down to is just because somebody tells you no does not mean that you cannot do it. It just means you can't do it with them. So that may mean that you have to get out of your comfort zone. And I learned that on recruiting duty. Getting up and facing your fears. Mine was having to talk to teenagers all over again at the age of 30-something.
You'll be 35.
You hush your mouth. Yes, I'm old. And I look at it now as that's what motivates me on a daily basis. Yeah, Jill got me signed up as a coach, and I was like, okay, well, what do I have to do? And she's like, well, I'll do everything for you. I'm sitting here, I was thinking about it today. Well, yes, I was drinking a Shakeology at work. So Christina, you'll be happy. I'm drinking Shakeology. But I was sitting there like thinking about it, and I was like, it's bullcrap for me to let my wife sign me up for something that she's doing and me not get involved in it. So, and I was going to talk to her about it today when I got home, but she was like in a coach's meeting, so I couldn't really talk to her about it. But, everybody has their doubts and things like that. Get out of those. Get away from those. Yeah, I've worked with Christina. I almost said Miss Menier. Sorry, ma'am. Sorry.
Stop it.
Lieutenant Menier.
Stop it.
But, after I left 2nd CEB and went into recruiting duty, like even after, what was it, the first deployment I did with 2nd CEB, babe? Mm-hmm. I came back and I wasn't myself. And it took me almost, 2 years to finally get myself to go and get seen for PTSD from my very first deployment. And now that I have it, like, I don't let it hold me back from nothing. Yeah, I go out with my kids and I go out with the wife. And yeah, I know I'm going into a situation that may trigger something, but I just deal with it. Why? Because it's for my wife and kids. Use that to motivate yourself. Use your family. Look at all the people that walk around hiding themselves saying, I can't do that. You can do it. Just because somebody tells you no, hey, you know what? You just can't do it with them. Find the way to break the barriers. Start setting the goals of, I'm going to get 10 people to buy products this month, or, I'm going to get one additional person. Start with something small and work your way up. I was talking to guys today, like, these guys do nothing but go to the gym, and Christina, you know how it is, and everybody in the military knows how it is. You got them gym rats, and they pound all winter long, all the protein and everything, and they get big and bulky, and the summer rolls around, and they want to shred. And I know you're laughing, Christina, but am I right?
That right there.
Right.
But one of the guys that I was talking to today, he was like, staffs aren't like, I need some advice. And I was like, what's that? And he's like, well, I'm trying to cut, but everything I'm trying ain't working. I'm like, well, what do you mean everything you're trying isn't working? And he's like, well, I've tried this, I've tried doing this. And I'm like, okay, well, have you tried the basics of getting out and just running? And he was like, well, I meant to ask you, I seen you drinking a shake today. What was it? I was like, it's Shakeology. And he's like, what's that? And like, you'll be surprised at how many people don't even know about Shakeology. Like, I started asking around my shop, and just my little shop of like 50-something people, nobody knew about Shakeology. And I came to realize, like, people are trying to lose weight. Nobody knows how to do it other than, I'm going to get off my butt and do it the Marine Corps way of just running. And that's how we do it in the Marine Corps. But yet, as soon as you start talking about proteins and all this other stuff, people's ears start perking up because, hey, there's something new and great. I need to get on it. And literally, huh?
Are they going to buy it?
I don't know. He's thinking about it. He's going to do some more research. So, but I mean, you got to get out of those comfort zones, and don't compare yourself to the number one seller, because in reality, the number one seller is actually you, because you're putting a product out there that not everybody knows about. And you just got to find those people and be the one to say, you know what? I don't care if you don't want to buy it. Somebody else out there wants to buy what I'm selling, and I'm going to get that product to them. And that's all it really comes down to. Yeah, it may sound stupid by me saying this, but it goes back to what we do on recruiting duty. Hey, just picking up that telephone, shooting out a text message, Facebook stalking, as we called it. But just getting out there and just saying, hey, are you interested in this? And yeah, Christina, I love you to death. You were like a mom to me. I mean, back when we were doing P90X in the shops, sweating and everything, I hated it then. I still hate PTing, but when you break it down, look at the real reason why you're doing this. You're doing it for yourself. So don't set the barriers of the expectations of what other people want. Set your own expectations, set your own barriers, because that is what's going to help you achieve your goals in life. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm sorry I took on a little rant there, but that's my little spiel on everything. I love you, Christina. You're still my mom.
Drop the mic.
Right, that's what I was just thinking. Mic drop.
Yeah.
6 years younger, Mom. Cool. Cool. All right, you guys. I know this was probably the longest team call we've ever had, but it was amazing. And I know Steph and I truly appreciate every single one of you guys being on tonight. So if you guys ever need anything, ever want to talk, every single one of us on this team is always here. So this team call was a little bit different than most, but I think it was really needed.
It was so good. Can we take a picture?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, let's take a picture.
Matt all of a sudden is alive. A picture?
Wait,
Okay.
hold on. Christina, where do you live?
Right now?
Yeah.
Arizona.
Oh, I thought you lived in Cali because of the tree they saw. Sorry.
Oh, no. Well, we have palm trees. It's just there's no water here, so.
Oh, lucky. Chicago's, ugh.
Okay, ready? Smile.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Poor Monica. She's still frozen in that same position. Okay, Steph, will you stay on? And anybody, honestly, who wants to stay on, I want to talk to Steph for a minute after this, but we are officially done with the call, so I will stop recording, and thank you guys so much for being on the call tonight.
Love you guys.
Guys.